Certain ones are just special, you see. Just need that little bit of extra help or understanding. A bit like people, really.
Yeah, good girl. Put your seatbelt on.
Good morning, thank you for calling the RSPCA Leeds to Wakefield. How can we help?
I work here with everybody else because it's very much a team effort to keep the branch going, to rehome our animals, to work as part of the bigger family of the RSPCA and meet our objectives and look after all these amazing animals that we have through our centre here.
The difference between ourselves as a branch and somebody that works directly with National is that we are completely self-funded, and that means that we run all of our fundraising events and are literally responsible for everything to keep this centre going.
We generally have 3 or 4 fairs throughout the year that are at the centre, obviously, as well as other events, trying to raise as much money as we can for the centre, because obviously then we'll be able to help more animals, and we never know what state the animals are going to come into us, what operations they might need and how much they might cost. At the moment he's in foster, he's a husky. He came to us because he got hit by a car and needed a major operation. Unfortunately his owners couldn't afford that, so the RSPCA helped out and he came here. Raising money at these events helps for stuff like that where we don't always know how they're going to come in.
It's always going to be money based as to whether we can continue doing the work that we do. Our reception are very, very busy in terms of answering phone calls from the public, and them just wanting or needing to rehome their animals for one reason or another.
Do you remember him? I remember the name. Chunky, tabby and white.
Yeah. What, he's coming back?
Coming back, yeah.
Oh,
Gentleman seriously ill.
Our priority is being able to take animals from the inspectorate, so it's quite difficult for us to take in those that are just unwanted, but at the same time it's difficult to have to say no to requests like that. So we do things like running training classes and hope that that kind of helps people stop behavioural problems, particularly with dogs, to then hope that they don't have to give them up and can't work with them any longer. Hopefully that means less animals in rescue centres in future.
Some of the dogs here don't know how to play because they've not been chasing a ball or a stick, or they've just not been like that. They've been in a backyard and locked in a shed, that type of thing. And it's really sad to see them, so they don't ask for that, they just have it inflicted on them. But some people are like that, unfortunately. But we bring them round, and not me personally. I just look after the buildings and the complex. But the girls and the volunteers look after them, feed them, walk them every day, or twice a day sometimes, more than that.
She's a good girl, wants to go for a walk. I think the RSPCA have always struggled with the volume of dogs that don't come in and animals that get abandoned. They don't have a big enough facility, because there's always dogs, so they have to rehome as many as possible, then others come in. It's just getting worse with animals. People leave them in houses, they move and leave them. I think people can be so cruel to animals. So there'll always be a place for the RSPCA. It's just a shame. People don't have a bit more responsibility with their animals. It's really sad. When a dog gets rehomed, that's us happy. That's what we're here for.
Sometimes it's a quick thing. We recently had some puppies in which were very popular, and they were, being rehomed really quickly.
Because we've just had hundreds and hundreds of application forms. It's just gone absolutely crazy. So yeah, we've had to just call a day on it. I'm afraid we've got plenty to go through.
We've had other dogs such as Brada who take a lot longer. Sometimes there's no absolute reason for that. So we've taken a lot more time, and we've taken a lot more care and a lot more focus on what that particular animal really, really needs.
Older dogs can almost be set in their ways, and then we're having to do a fair bit of behavioural work with them to really assess what home they're looking for, whereas with puppies it's practically a brand new slate. Particular success story that we've had recently is Brada. She came into the centre and was here for about 16 months in total.
She arrived last January last year, so she was here for over a year. I didn't get to meet Brada when she first came in, but apparently it took her quite a few months to settle in, to actually show how loving she was. But she was chained in a garden with quite a lot of other small dogs, and they would sort of alternate which dogs were inside and which ones were outside, and she would get chained up and they'd sort of torment her. So she did need quite a lot of work, which is probably why she was here for so long. She took a little while to bond with you, really, and not everybody was willing to put the time in for that. So for us to see people come and meet her and sort of turn away, it was quite heartbreaking, when really she was an absolutely amazing dog.
So I found Brada first on the RSPCA website, and I remember actually I'd seen her a few times before when I would be looking in the night and then think, oh no, Hannah, don't be daft, you haven't got the time. But then kept coming across thinking, oh, she's still there. I was actually looking at a lot smaller dogs, looking more at beagles, but yeah, Sam said definitely Brada.
Yeah, I remember when you sent us that picture, I just thought she looked really cool.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've always loved like lurchers or like greyhounds, and then German shepherds. I think with Sam being a policeman, I always thought, oh, we could have a German shepherd, you know. So really, it was a bit like, nah, a bigger dog does suit us. And then we first met her at the RSPCA. She was gorgeous, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, I was surprised with how big she was.
Yeah.
She looked a lot bigger in real life than she did on the website on pictures, which I think is why they found it so difficult to rehome her. Well, we thought she was quite happy because of how well the staff look after her. Just the idea of giving the opportunity for another dog to come in and then giving Brada family or people that she can
call her own,
yeah,
because there might be, say, 10, 20 staff that work there. So even though she loved them all, like loving just 2 people or having 2 people as your owner, yeah, she definitely attached to us. I also think at the RSPCA people want more of a puppy, so again I felt like Brada probably did need someone like us to take her on, because people go for puppies more, thinking that you can't retrain her or thinking that she might just be set in bad way.
I just got the impression from meeting her that she was perfect for us, and that just how much she'd been given up on before by, I don't know, I would imagine everybody who looks at her went, oh, she's brilliant, and put their name down. I don't know how many did, but and then turned around and gone, sorry, no, we can't. It's always going to be a big step to go, yeah, we'll take this dog in for the rest of their life, and to look after it. Costs so much money, costs so much time, all that type of thing. But yeah, I just had a really strong feeling that she'd fit in here and it would be a happy ending, really. I think from what I picked up, she was tied up, sort of used as a guard dog, where all the other dogs were, a large number, I think about 10 other dogs were free to roam around and attack her, which has led to her current behaviour of being terrified of other dogs.
Yeah, defending herself, didn't she, really?
When we first got her, we'd go out on a walk, it was a case of looking into the distance, seeing a dog from like 200 metres away. And if you saw one, turning around, walking the other way, just avoiding it. Whereas slowly that built up to do the other side of the road, or walking quickly past it, or just taking a slight diversion. But then now, quite confidently, on the other side of the road, or pass on a pavement under control, and just reassure her afterwards.
Trying to train it to deal with the situation rather than avoid it.
I think, well, we're not as good as we could be. I've never owned a dog before, and Hannah's had family dogs, but
not like, obviously, with issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we're learning and still need to learn our best to look after her, to make her feel comfortable with us. But at home, feels a lot more comfortable at home now.
Definitely cheekier, definitely more dog-like. Before, I think she just hid, and she would never have come on the sofas. Yeah. And she
was upstairs a lot, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was just upstairs looking out the window. And now she tells us when there's people outside by barking and nicks food and stuff, where she never used to do any of that before. So I quite like her dog personality coming out.
Wow. It's the only time that you can really see a smile across her face is when we've been out and then we come back and she welcomes us back at the door. She's just so happy to see us. And then, well, I think that's her sort of showing us her affection and appreciation, that she loves it here and loves having us around, loves being around us.